Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Inside Golf. I'm Harry Donahue, your host, and today, as you can see, I'm holding here an Eagles helmet, and we're at the Medford Village Golf Club in South Jersey. And yes, there is a direct connection between Eagles football and golf. Recently, Medford Village was host to the 4th annual Kevin Turner Foundation golf outing. Kevin Turner was an Eagles fullback back in the mid to late 90s. Played collegiately at the University of Alabama, and prior to coming to Philadelphia, was a fullback with the New England Patriots. He suffered numerous injuries. It's part of the trade. But then, 5 years ago, Kevin was diagnosed with ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease. And 4 years ago, with the help of his friend and neighbor here in South Jersey, Bob Penza, he started the Kevin Turner Foundation golf outing here at Medford Village. So it's now into its 4th year. And Kevin Turner, although he has been debilitated because of ALS, living in Alabama, has made his way back to Medford Village today to look at this golf course where he himself used to play with his friends and teammates and to kind of just have a good day on the golf course. We'll be back at Medford Village in the Kevin Turner Foundation golf outing next, right here on Inside Golf. Inside Golf, presented by PGN Plus. Play your golf bucket list. By Jersey Man Magazine, it's a Jersey way of life, and Philly Man Magazine, bringing it to Broad Street. And by the Philadelphia Section PGA, experts in the game and business of golf.
Along with being stewards of the game of golf, your local PGA professional wears many hats.
We are teachers.
We are players.
We are managers.
We are merchandisers.
And community leaders.
But we all wear one badge.
PGA professionals are well-trained experts who work hard to share the joy of golf with our neighbors for over 90 years. To find your local PGA professional, visit phillypga.com. Brought to you by the Philadelphia section of the PGA.
We are the experts in the game and business of golf.
The focus, the feel, the friends. Golf isn't just a game, it's an experience, and PGN Plus invites you to experience golf like never before. PGN Plus provides golfers with access to the area's exclusive private courses, and for existing country club members, PGN Plus enhances your membership with intra-club reciprocal play. Select your course, book your tee time, and play the best private clubs the area has to offer. Create your free account today. Visit pgnplus.com, your invitation to private golf.
Welcome back to Inside Golf. Today we are at the annual Kevin Turner Foundation golf event at Medford Village in New Jersey with Bob Penza, who is a longtime friend of Kevin Turner, back to the days when he was active and playing with the Eagles. Tell us about that.
It was fantastic. When I first met Kevin, he moved into our neighborhood in '95. He was a big deal for the Eagles to sign him as a free agent acquisition. And he played 5 hard years for Philadelphia. And we developed a really good friendship while he was here, and he moved back to Alabama. And unfortunately, 5 years ago, when he was first diagnosed with ALS, we had still been in contact with each other, and so we've probably even remained in more contact since then.
What about the idea for this golf event? How did that originate?
It originated that since Kevin was back in Alabama, and I wanted to do something where he could come back to the Philly area and get together with some of his old teammates and friends and people that love him and care about him, and help his foundation, which was about raising awareness, get the word out about what his foundation is trying to do, and create a reunion of sorts for Kevin.
How's Kevin's spirits? I know his general overall health has deteriorated over the past 5 years. He was aware of that with ALS. How does he constantly battle it day to day and make his way from Alabama here back to South Jersey?
His spirits are amazing, which is consistent with who Kevin is. I mean, his attitude is he knows it's an undefeated opponent, but it doesn't break his spirit. And if anything, he says one day at a time. He's not bitter, about what has happened to him. He's very spiritual, and his dream was to play in the NFL. From the age of 5, he wanted to play in the NFL, and he lived his dream, and he has no regrets about that.
And he has quite a support staff. I know his parents are still alive back in Alabama. He has friends like you, a caretaker who eventually he married. How about that situation?
It's great. Allison's a beautiful person, and the two of them made a connection. While this disease is a progressive disease, so when it first started, Kevin was very much in control of himself physically, and mentally none of that's changed. Physically it's declined a lot. He's needed more and more care, and she provides outstanding care. Not just because she's good at what she does. She is a registered nurse by profession, but she loves him, and that shows in how she takes care of him.
Final question. Kevin used to play here when he was with the Eagles at Medford Village. What kind of a golfer was he, Bob?
He wasn't that good. I mean, there was probably more than one occasion when he did throw a golf club in the air, and I would say, you may
in celebration.
Not really. Not really. But no, he could hit some shots. I mean, he hit some pretty good shots, some not so good shots. But we always had fun. We always had a good time, and so this is kind of rekindling those memories of good times.
Well, he sounds like the rest of us, I should say, when it comes to golf. Just having fun out there and being with friends.
Exactly. That's exactly correct.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you.
A couple of other things that I need to note that we don't...
Number 83, Mr. Invincible, my old broadcast partner, Vince Papale. Great to see you there.
Hey, yeah, great.
Hawk man.
Hawk brother, that's right, Harry. The Hawk will never die. We need to start with that. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing great. You're doing great. You look great. And you're here today. Vince, you didn't play, of course, with Kevin Turner. But Jon Runyan is here, who never played with the Eagles with Kevin Turner. What about the fraternity of NFL players turning out for an event like this?
Well, that's what the NFL alumni is all about. That's why we proudly wear that shield and that crown up there. And it's all about helping the other guy, caring and giving. And Kevin's the kind of guy that if you knew him the way I knew him, I happened to in Cherry Hill, he lived right around the corner from me. And he was a special teams demon. And 34, and I kept calling him 83, and became friends with his family, and I knew him and his wife and his children as they were growing up, and now he's just an inspiration to everyone, and you got to help.
Yeah, he was the kind of player you would have loved to have been a teammate of.
Oh, you kidding me? I kept telling him, I said, I would have loved for you to come back and play well, because he was old school. Alabama and all the stuff they used to do down there, but there wasn't a wedge that he didn't like to blow up, and of course as the fullback, and just throwing his head in there all the time. He was probably one of the better fullbacks I think the Eagles ever had. It's just a matter of attrition that he had to go, but I was sure sorry to see him go. 34, loved him.
Yeah, he was something else. You have a son now that's going to play a little collegiate football. Tell us about Vincenzo.
Well, that's the rumor. My daughter Gabriella, she's up at Syracuse University. She's a senior now. And Vinny, we just shipped him off to chase his next dream, and he's going to be at the University of Delaware playing wide receiver, Z receiver, strong side. And Coach Dave Brock now will be his third year down there, rebuilding the program, coming in after KC. And Vinny has a great opportunity. So we'll see. It's all about working hard, having fun, and keeping your nose to the ground, as you know, Harry, and we'll just let it roll.
Well, let me tell you, Vinny, you have some huge shoes to fill, because your father, he may have not set any touchdown records, but he was one of the most lovable football players in Philadelphia history, hence invincible, and still going strong. Love to see it.
Well, it's great to be here, Harry, and for all those out there, say a prayer for Kevin and his family. He's deserving of everything and all the accolades and everything that he's ever got.
Well said. Thanks, Vince.
Thanks.
Well, Jon Runyan, retired football player, retired congressman, but you're here for Kevin Turner. And you never really played. Your paths didn't cross, I guess, professionally, did they, John? But you got involved in this event before, and now you're back.
It's it's all part of the fraternity, part of the brotherhood, and making sure that we take care of each other. Because God, sometimes someone's going to have to take care of me. Sure. I tell my daughters that all the time, because you're going to have to push me around in my wheelchair at some point, because your mother's not going to. So we all need to be friends in this.
Tell me, when you were playing, injuries were part of the lifestyle of professional football, any sport for that matter, but especially the NFL. But did it ever make you stop and think from one year to the next, do I want to continue doing this?
You do in the back of your mind, but the love you have for the game and your competitive nature push you to do it, and that's just how we're wired. And unfortunately, we all have injuries, and that's what Kevin suffers from it. We all suffer from different ailments along the way, but we love this game. We love to play this game. That's really why we do it.
You now have a son starting collegiately at the University of Michigan, and you have some daughters playing sports. What kind of counsel do you give them when it comes to injuries?
Oh, the biggest thing is take care of them. Don't ignore them. If something hurts, you don't feel right, there's something wrong. Talk to somebody about it. Even in my area, you grew up, rub some dirt on it and get back out there. But that kind of stuff has long-term effects on you, and if you don't take care of it when it happens, that stuff will creep up later in life.
John, good to see you. Look like you still, if you had some eligibility, could you put the pads on? What do you think?
Not enough cartilage left in my knee.
There you go. Thanks, John. John,
golf course superintendents
are the unsung heroes of our great game.
Thanks to the game's efforts,
we now have turf that needs less water
and is more sustainable
and offers natural wildlife habitats on our courses.
If you love golf like I do,
like
what I do,
thank a golf course superintendent.
Thank a golf course superintendent.
Do thank your golf course superintendent.
Thank a golf course superintendent.
A message from the Golf Course Superintendents Association of America.
Well, look who's here. Somebody who needs no introduction to Philadelphia sports fans. Merrill Reese, voice of the Eagles. And voice of the Eagles, of course, when Kevin Turner was a player. They were, in terms of wins, lean years back in the mid-late 90s.
They were, but Kevin Turner was one of the real forces on that team. He was a great fullback. If I were to put together the best fullbacks in the 300 years that I've done the team, Kevin would be right up there on that list.
He didn't score many touchdowns, Merle. I think he only had one rushing touchdown in his career, and it didn't come with the Eagles. I think it came with New England. But what made him the great fullback that he was?
Well, he was tough. That's the word that I think of when I think of Kevin Turner. But interestingly enough, Harry, he had great ball skills. I can remember tremendous catches that Kevin Turner made that you don't see the ordinary fullback make. And you talk about touchdowns. I remember him, and I'm not sure who the Eagles were playing that day, but he went way up above everybody and made a one-handed catch in the corner of the end zone for a touchdown. So he was a tremendous receiver.
And Sam Gash, who competed with him in New England for the same position, said he was a better runner than Sam Gash. He said he had a little wiggle. And I brought up the fact that out of the backfield, I think he did catch in his career 10 touchdown throws.
Yeah, he was very, very great when it came to the ball skills, and he had moves. He was not just a straight-ahead runner, not that he juked a lot, but he was a guy who, if there was a hole, he could hit it, and if there was an opportunity to make a move, he was capable of making a move. He was an exceptional football player. He was at Alabama, came out of Alabama, and was good from the beginning in the NFL. When the Eagles got him, that was a great deal.
Be interesting to see how it fit into the Chip Kelly mold of Eagles football this year.
It would have been.
Merrill, always a pleasure. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too, Harry.
Sam Gash, former great fullback at Penn State and in the NFL, several years, including a couple in New England, when you competed against Kevin Turner. What kind of a player teammate was Kevin?
Great guy. I mean, he was a great guy then, great teammate. There was no animosity towards me or, anybody else in the room. And, we went out and we competed. I mean, he and I, we lifted together, we ran together, and he was, he's a fast guy. He was a little faster than I was coming out and stuff. So I always had to, I felt like I had to be a little quicker because, Kevin brought that competition.
I looked at his stats. He was pretty good catching the ball, too. I think he scored something like 7 or 8 touchdowns as a receiver in his 3 years at New England.
Oh, yeah. No, he was dynamic, and that was one of the things that I wasn't. And we ended up kind of, he helped me a lot with that, just watching him. And, we were roommates for a while there as well. So, we got to be pretty close. And he's he was a solid teammate that you could count on in a clutch situation.
It's amazing how a guy as healthy as he was, strong, like you said, great teammate, is hit with a disease like this and is now just a shadow of himself. I guess, you look at him and then you consider your life and you say, why him and not me?
Yeah, no, you ask yourself that all the time. And that's why, whenever there's something for him, and I try to keep in contact with his representatives just to kind of see how he's doing because I know it's tough for him to communicate on the phone and stuff like that. You know, I find myself stuttering like I am right now because I don't have an answer. I mean, I don't, you know, I do have the memory losses, I have the headaches and the different things like that, and you find yourself coaching different. You know, you don't coach it like you used to coach it in terms of being as hard forward and straight ahead, because now the head is not a weapon anymore. They used to teach that as a weapon.
Spearing and so forth.
Oh, yeah. Well, they would never say spearing. Never say spearing, but the hardest thing on your body is your head and your helmet. So that's what they, you know, kind of what you learned growing up. So you can see the culture is changing, and, you know, I think Kevin's affliction that he has, you know, a great bearing on why, you know, parents look at the sport a lot different.
And players too. Do you look at it differently? I mean, would you advise a youngster to follow in your footsteps right now?
Well, only if they wanted to. But then there's certain tests that I think you should have to pass. I mean, like, and when I say test pass, I mean, I'm not talking about the mental, you know, test that they give you and all that, but you know, football's not made for everyone. And would I play again? Absolutely. You know, I enjoyed the life that it gave me, the friends that I've made, and the friends that I still have. Had it happened to me, you know, I you know, would I say the same thing? I don't know, you know, but I enjoyed, you know, the whole aspect of the game, football, and I tell my kids that if you don't want to play, it's okay. It's not a question of your manhood or your toughness, and that should never come into effect. But if you do play, then it's a question of your manhood and your toughness. You know, so it's a double-edged sword that, you know, I try not to, you know, I would not want to put on anybody, but I just tell them that the game is not for everyone. And if it's not for you, don't take it as any slight in life.
Sam, thanks for showing up and showing support for your teammate. Good to see you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Stay with us. More to come from Medford Village Golf Club and the Kevin Turner outing. But up next here on Inside Golf, our teed-off panel will talk about the best advice they've ever had when it comes to the game of golf. If you haven't seen it already, I'd like to introduce you to Jersey Man Magazine, published by former Eagle tight end Ken Dunek. It's the only men's magazine in our area. Enjoy articles on cigars, martinis, the mob, business, politics, and, of course, golf. Written by big-time journalists like George Anastasia, Bill Lyon, Sam Carchidi, and many others. Subscriptions are only $20 a year and are available at jerseymanmagazine.com.
We're rolling out the action and bringing it all to the table. So go all in with endless ways to win. Join us for the area's hottest happy hour with double the action at half the price. Only at Valley Forge Casino Resort.
Hey, welcome back. It's time for Teed Off, and today we're back teeing off things here at the Valley Forge Casino Resort. You can hear it all in the background. Big crowd on hand here, as always. Great summertime fun here at Valley Forge Casino Resort. Our panel, Bob Shepard, longtime Philadelphia PGA professional, author, and swing instructor, which is timely for this segment, as you will find out in a few moments. Always glad to see Shep back with us.
Thanks, Harry. Good
Joe Logan's from myphillygolf.com. He keeps that blog going. He knows what's going on. He has his hand right on the pulse or the glove or something of local golf here in Philadelphia. And our third panelist is Ken Dunek. He's the publisher of Philly Man and Jersey Man magazine. This thing, both of them have taken off. At least according to Ken, like you wouldn't believe, right?
Appreciate it. Yep, thank you.
Selling something cold
doing okay.
in the summertime. Good to see you, Kenny. Guys, everybody's have probably, if you've taken a golf lesson, a moment where somebody tells you a tip from another pro, Bob, in your case, or Joe, your instructor, Kenny, where you say, wow, I get it now. Have you experienced that?
I have, and I'm in desperate need of some instruction because I've gone from a 6 to a 14 this year, primarily because I'm working so much. I don't have enough time to play golf. But you know, golf is really a game of opposites, as you guys know. You got to swing slow to hit it far. You got to hit down on it to make it go up. The best tip I ever got was to try to extend my backswing, turn my back to the target, and that really your body takes over rather than getting handsy and lunging at the ball. And when you use the tempo, the momentum of that turn, that really constitutes a great tempo and usually produces a better golf swing. So that's the best tip I ever.
There you go.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. The best tip I've ever got, and one which makes complete sense, and I have yet to get through my thick skull through like 50 years of golf.
Well, you've only been playing 50 years. Give it time, will you?
Is swing at 75%, which is pretty much what Ken said. Just swing smooth, the ball will go farther, everything will be fine. It's all about tempo and swing smoothing, and for the life of me,
But you miss that thrill of gripping it tight and hitting it as hard as you can. Don't you miss that? I know I miss it.
Yeah,
You're getting there, right? Once in a while. It's down to maybe 85%.
Yeah.
Bobby, what's a tip that you got from somebody, and in the circles that you traveled back in the day, it was probably somebody big.
We had probably the best teacher in Philadelphia was Jock McKenzie at Sandy Run Country Club. He was fabulous. He had one rule that if you didn't grip the club correctly, he wouldn't give you a ball. So you could take an hour lesson and not hit a ball if you didn't grip the club. And then he'd tell you how to do it. You go home, practice it for a week, and come back. And when you started gripping it, you started hitting it. He said there's no sense in watching you miss shots, so I'm not going to do it till you straighten your hands out. And he told me at a young age, I hit the ball pretty good, but I never hit it far. And he told me at a young age, he said, if you get a golf tee, now I don't have one, but I have a pen, and put it right there in your left hand, and grip a golf club with it standing straight up, and then do the same thing with this hand, have a tee standing straight up, your hands are balanced at that point. And likewise are your arms and your shoulders and your chest muscles. So by lining up your hands, even though it might feel weak or it might feel uncomfortable, what you're doing is you're basically taking care of all the power in your golf swing. So you don't have to worry about 75%. This won't move any faster than it can move then. But when you have these unbalanced, when you have your hands unbalanced, this becomes just a wildfire. Anything could happen.
So I've probably watched too many golf tips on TV.
Right.
It sounds like it's a very neutral grip. Is
it
that
is.
what he?
Very
it's
neutral.
Not strong, not weak.
And there's people out there, Freddie Couples, and you got who's the other guy there? I can't even. They got a strong right hand. It's okay as long as one of the two are balanced. You can still fool around. It's not it's not.
Hazinger used to have a real
there's the other guy.
strong, and yet he still hit a little
slider. Yeah.
The thing that gets me about the grip is the vast majority of golfers play with the overlapping grip like that. But there's also the interlocking grip.
Yeah.
And there are only two people I know who use the interlocking grip, Jack Nicklaus and Tiger Woods.
Right.
So what does that tell you?
Between them, that's 32 majors.
That's right.
What's the last thing you think about before you take the club back?
I just try to take it back inside and swing with tempo. I mean, that's really my key. I'm strong enough to where I hit it far when I swing with the proper tempo. So when I get, we were talking about it with Joe, when I get a little fast, I pick it straight up and I don't make the proper turn, that's when I get in trouble.
Okay. So Jack McKenzie was
your
guy.
Yep.
How about, is there any one guy that
I try
you
to
got a lesson from?
channel Ernie Els. Yeah, when I was a kid, local pro in North Carolina would
Nobody ever heard of.
who nobody ever heard of. Just he would come, he never charged us. He would sit from his golf cart and watch us hit balls, me and my buddies, and he would take a puff off his cigar and make some insightful comment.
Jock used to say you never see a caddy who's caddying for a living that would grip the club improperly. Because he's so angry at people for making him walk around the course crazy.
Really?
So yeah, he said
that?
all the good
Interesting
players have
stuff.
the same thing, yeah.
Thanks, guys. Different perspective from a pro, guys that play it just for fun. And hope you go out there with just one swing thought. Don't get things too cluttered. We'll be back. Inside Golf continues in just a moment. The Valley Forge Casino Resort is the region's only full amenity gaming resort, and it's only seconds from the Pennsylvania Turnpike at King of Prussia. It features 600 slots, 50 table games, and there are nearly 500 guest rooms, plus 8 restaurants designed to meet all of your dining needs. So put the beautiful Valley Forge Casino Resort on your destination list.
We're rolling out the action and bringing it all to the table. So go all in with endless ways to win. Join us for the area's hottest happy hour with double the action at half the price. Only at Valley Forge Casino Resort.
Got a young golfer in the family? Whether their dream is to grab a national ranking or just have more fun on the golf course, sign them up for the Philly PGA Junior Tour this summer. It's competitive play on premier courses for boys and girls 18 and younger throughout Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. Perfect for gearing up for the next high school or collegiate golf season. Available to both new and competitive golfers. Registration now open year-round. Help your young golfers find or improve their game. Sign them up today at PhillyJuniorTour.com.
Well, Merrill, that was your first swing of the day right down the middle. Huh? Are we going to see a steady diet of that today or what?
I hope so. The good thing about mine is you can hear it land.
You fellas are playing with a living legend, right? I mean, would you rather play with, say, Rory McIlroy or Jordan Spieth or Merrill Reese?
Obviously, you saw how nervous we were on the first tee, so it's Merrill Reese, obviously.
Still a little shaky from it, yeah.
It doesn't get any better than that. And you'll be free to do any recreation of touchdowns over the last how many years?
103.
There you go. That's a lot of touchdowns. Enjoy your day, guys. Mike Quick, your broadcast partner, Merrill Reese is out. Who's the better golfer? You don't have to answer if you don't want to.
It depends on what day it is, who the better golfer is.
Okay. We talked to Merrill about Kevin Turner as a player.
Yes.
You watched him for several years.
Yeah.
I'm curious, your impressions of Kevin back when he was playing.
Oh, he was a beast. You know, it was when the fullback position was the fullback position, and he had no problems with butting heads with the best of middle linebackers or moving out tackles. You know, he was a really good player. And what surprises most people is how well he could catch the ball out of the backfield. He's a very good receiver, but just a hard-nosed football player.
A lot of guys who are here today, including your playing partner, John Runyon, didn't play with Kevin Turner, and yet they show their support. There is that active fraternity of NFL alumni, right?
Yeah, I just think that it's respect for the guys because, you know, we all, there's a brotherhood there that we all understand and realize, not that many of us are in the position or may even be in the position that Kevin is in, but you have to feel for him. You know, he was one of these guys that was, one of the best at what he did, and now having to deal with all that he's dealing with, I think it's only right that we come out and support him in any way that we can.
And it's a lot there for the grace of God. Could be Mike Quick or John Runyon or somebody.
Absolutely. You know, I think any of us were probably inches or less from being in a situation where you had a fractured spine or anything that could have really altered our lives. So I think it's important that the ones that are healthy and that can come out have the time to come out and support a cause like this. And a guy like Kevin, I think it's all good stuff.
Well deserved. Nice 260-yard drive. Let's see if you can finish.
We'll finish it.
Well, that's going to do it for this week's edition of Inside Golf here from Medford Village Golf Club. Hope you enjoyed our look at the Kevin Turner Foundation outing, the 4th annual outing, helping to raise support for Kevin Turner. And speaking of support, thanks to all his former teammates and friends and NFL alumni for coming out today and playing at this golf outing at Medford Village. And if you would like more on Kevin Turner and his foundation, you can go to kevinturnerfoundation.org. And next week, be with us. We'll be at Huntington Valley Country Club. The Philadelphia section of the PGA of America holds its annual Heidemann Classic. And we'll be there because this is the 100th anniversary of the birth date of the great amateur Billy Heidemann. I'm Harry Donahue. Thanks for joining us. And remember, no matter how bad it's going for you out there, don't pick up. And we'll see you next time from Huntington Valley right here on Inside Golf. Inside Golf, presented by PGN Plus. Play your golf bucket list. By Jersey Man Magazine. It's a Jersey way of life. And Philly Man Magazine, bringing it to Broad Street. And by the Philadelphia section PGA. Experts in the game and business of golf.